I'm a supervisory senior examiner and reviewing official. Long title. All that essentially means is that I provide direction and oversight for examinations of farm-credited institutions, as well as supervised staff, commissioned examiners, non-commissioned examiners, and sometimes associate examiners. A commissioned examiner is someone who has received their credentials to be responsible for examining an institution, essentially the go-to person, or the point of contact for an institution. So when you enter the Office of Examination, you will be enrolled in what's called the commissioning program. It is about a 3 or 4 year program in which you undergo a pretty extensive training program. And upon completion of that, you will receive your commission status after successfully passing the commission test. When I was at Tennessee State University, I was in a cost accounting class. And it was a student next to me that had mentioned talking to somebody from the Farm Credit Administration. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do out of college, and it sounded interesting, but I didn't want to be a farmer. And it wasn't until she explained to me a little bit about what FCA was, I became interested. I went to a career fair later that spring. I ended up meeting a recruiter from the agency, and I kid you not, after maybe a 5-minute conversation, they say the rest is history. I got interviewed, and I accepted the job. One thing that kind of stood out to me about the agency was it was a relatively small agency, around 300 people, and I never wanted to feel like another number. And FCA makes me feel like a human being, makes me feel like another person. It's a great place to work because one of my biggest things as a student was feeling like I was going to get left behind. The agency does a good job in making sure nobody's left behind. When you get hired, you'll notice that everybody is joined as a class. And as a class, you take the same trainings as everybody else in your class. So there's a level of ease that goes into accepting a job for FCA because you know that you're going to be well supported. I will say a typical day is far from routine. While I do a lot of providing oversight and direction for examinations, there's a lot of stuff that comes into play with individual employees. So one week I may be working on reviewing an activity letter. Maybe a report of examination needs to go out to a specific institution. Another week I could be instructing or teaching a course for associate examiners. The following week, it could be what we call FIRS, which is Financial Institution Rating System. We do this on a quarterly basis, but it's a multi-week process. There really is no set routine. So I've been president of Blacks in Government at FCA for the past few years. We're supported by a regional and a national organization to help support our efforts in our chapter. We've been able to do a lot of initiatives over the years. Most notably, we do have a scholarship program that's been named in honor of our late and former FCA board chairman, Ken Spearman. As well, during the fall months, we typically do an annual coat and food drive, which has been going on for over 20 years at this point. In addition to honoring and acknowledging Black History Month, which is a full month in February in which we put on multiple events and awareness. Compensation packages are great here. I think the security, working for a government agency as well as the health benefits often get overlooked. It's a significant benefit there, as well as the work-life balance. I tell people every job I've had at the agency has been the best job I've ever had. This is hands down the best place I've ever worked. And it allows me to do a lot of things in my personal life, which, I understand is not always something that you can do with other jobs.